7%. That's how much Kiwi property prices have increased each year over the last 30 years. A pretty incredible return. I'm Jules Riley from MAS, and I'm here to talk to you about all things property. Since the early 90s, property prices in New Zealand have increased by about 6 or 7 times, but there's some good reasons to think that may not occur over the next 30 years. And the reason for that is because stretched affordability limits future price growth. And so house price to income ratios in New Zealand are now around 7 times. Yes, they've come back a bit from a couple of years ago where they were around 10 times, but they're still pretty unaffordable for a lot of people. There's also a couple of other big factors going on which could limit house prices going forward. One is the Reserve Bank recently put in place debt-to-income caps, which limits the amount that you can borrow relative to your income, and the government and local councils are making some big moves to increase housing supply. So something else you might hear is that renting is wasted money. But you know what else is wasted money? Paying interest on a mortgage. Both are expenses. The actual cost of home ownership, if you're buying a home in New Zealand, is typically twice the cost of renting. So renting can help you actually save money, build a bigger deposit, and then borrow less and pay less interest for when you do buy. The other great thing about renting is that it enables you to have mobility. So you can move to places where your skills can command the highest premium. So should this impact the way you think about buying a home? Now, it is important that you buy a home that you can afford, and you will probably earn more money over time. However, property ladder thinking can also be a trap. There's this theory called the hedonic treadmill theory, and I quite like it because what it suggests is that people tend to revert to a relatively stable level of happiness over time despite big changes in their circumstances. So buying that bigger house is not necessarily going to make you happier, but relationships and building good relationships in your community and neighborhood will make you happier, because relationships are one of the key determinants of happiness over time. The other kind of interesting sort of advantages of a buy and hold strategy are that it helps you manage volatility and reduce your transaction costs. So how can you get into your first home faster? There's no getting around the need to just save as much as you can as fast as you can. One way you can think about this if you're saving as a couple is try to live off one income and then save the other. You can save more by either topping up your KiwiSaver, or you could open a managed fund and save into that. And that way you can retain access to your money. Now, MAS offers 7 different managed funds called our MAS investment funds. And these range from, say, 100% shares to 100% cash. And that allows you to align your investment timeframe and your risk tolerance. So there's a lot to think about when you're buying your first home. Please just keep in mind that all MAS members have access to MAS advisors at no additional cost, and they can help you understand your goals and your fund choice and your contribution rate and just keep you on track. If you've got any questions and you think we can help, please feel free to get in touch with MAS today.